Imagine the honor of a person who through the constant labor has managed to restrain his unrefined tendencies completely. He has no anger, no rage, no hatred, no hostility, wants no revenge, and bears no grudge, has no aspiration for honor, and no desire for meaningless pleasures. In so many words, the Chazon Ish is describing a malach. He's describing an angel, because he calls such people angel among men. They may look like men, but they are angels among men. He says, imagine how honorable such a person is if he's achieved such a status. He doesn't say that this person has no anger because he wasn't born angry. He doesn't say that this person has no rage because he was simply born like one of these people that doesn't get bothered by anything. No, no, no. He has bad midot. He has bad traits. She has terrible traits she was born with. When she was little, you set something off, a bottle flew your way. When he was little, you set something off, there's going to be a scratch in your car the next day. That was in them. But they learned enough Torah, enough of the divine instructions to know that number one, it's a terrible trait to have. Two, if I don't fix it, I am worse than an animal. Three, although it's difficult to fix, it's worth it. Not just in heaven and the reward you're going to get, but simply the life you're going to live here. And how much better your life is. So he says here, imagine the honor that a person would get who through constant labor has managed to restrain his unrefined tendencies. Not that he wasn't born with them, but rather because he labored and toiled and eventually learned how to restrain these terrible tendencies that he or she has. And got to a point where they have no anger, rage, hatred, hostility. Now, you look at the list, if you're honest with yourself, you go with the first one. Has no anger. That's not me. Okay, right. No rage. Yeah, only when nobody is annoying to me. No hatred. I guess. Well, kind of. Maybe. Yes. No. Yeah. No hostility. Yeah, when I'm sleeping. No revenge. Well, revenge is kind of sweet. Why shouldn't I have it? Bears no grudge. Well, again, only against those people that I don't have a grudge against. I have no grudge against. Aspirations for honor. Who doesn't want honor? The whole reason I'm doing everything I'm doing is for honor. I want more money because of honor. I want a bigger house because of honor. I want a nicer car because of honor. I want to know more because of honor. Everything I do is because of honor. That's what a real person will say to themselves. And no desire for meaningful pleasure. Even if you pass the first 5, you got to number 6, you're like, okay, I guess I got some work to do. Got some work to do. Meaningful pleasures, that's the only reason why we function. You spend 2 hours to make a meal you'll eat in 5 minutes. Why? You want the meal to taste good, even though it's only going to be 5 minutes to eat it. You work overtime, so you have a nicer house. You do everything we do because we want more. And not more of the things we need, but more of the things we want. Doesn't necessarily make you a bad person, but we're just not necessarily fitting all of the description here yet. But the Chazon Ish really was also describing somebody that achieved this. One time a person wrote a very nasty article about the Chazon Ish. Yes, Rashaim have always been around. Nothing new under the sun. The biggest rabbi in the world, the whole world goes to him for everything. One guy decides to, instead of going to the Chazon Ish, he's going to write a nasty article about him. Because he disagreed with one of the things he said, so he figured that he's just going to destroy him with his words. You know, people like to use their words as venom. Wrote a nasty article, but as time would have it, the person eventually went to the Chazon Ish and told him, yes, I'm the guy that wrote the nasty article about the Rav. And I wanted to see if the Rav would forgive me. Chazon Ish looks at him with a big smile and he says, I'm sorry, but in my store, I don't have the product that you're looking for. We don't carry hatred or anger in this store. So I don't have any of it. I never got angry at what you wrote. Never got upset at what you wrote. There's nothing for me to forgive. You wrote an article? Okay, Chazak Baruch. Yeah, but it was against you. Against me, for me. Okay, Chazak Baruch. You wrote something. You wrote something. Another time, Chazon Ish used to take some time during the day to do some exercise. And he'd walk in the streets. In those days, there's no YouTube, there's no internet, there's no nothing. Even the personal identification was not always with a photo. So one time, this older man sees this other older man walking. What is this bum doing? He doesn't know it's the Chazon Ish. What is this bum doing? Why is he walking all day? They have something to do. He sees him walking back now. Gets upset that this guy's walking. He doesn't notice the fact that he's sitting in the same spot for a half hour. But he's noticing the other guy's walking. So he has to say something. If you're Israeli, you have to say something. Hey, what are you doing over there? What are you doing over there? Why don't you do something useful? Stop walking around like a bum. Chazon Ish says, and what do you suggest that I do? Just go read some Tehillim or something. Maybe learn some Torah. Thank you. He leaves. Next day, he sees him walking again. Because you're walking again. Tehillim with him. As you would have it, HaKadosh Baruch Hu has a good sense of humor. As you would have it, this older man one day got a little sick. And one of his friends says, listen, why don't you get a bracha from the Gdol Ador? He lives not far from you. Who? Chazon Ish. Oh, you can take me to him? Yeah, I'll take you. Yalla, let's go. He goes to the Chazon Ish, and as soon as they open the door to see the Chazon Ish sitting there with the books and everything, but always made time for people no matter what. They bother them for everything. Even what time does Shabbat come in? What time does Shabbat come in? Some woman asked him, Rabbi, what time does Shabbat come in? He says, I'm not sure right now, but I'll send somebody to your house to tell you exactly when Shabbat comes in. And that's what he did. He sent his sister, who ended up marrying the Stipler Gaon, to our house. Oh, Shabbat comes in at 6:05. And go back home. They bother them for everything. Biggest rabbi in the world, they bother them for everything. What time does Shabbat come in? So anyway, this guy opens the door, he sees the Chazon Ish. He knows real well it's the same exact guy he yelled at for being a bum. And he falls on his, oh, I'm sorry, Kvod Harav, I'm sorry, I can't believe I spoke. No, why are you sorry? Why are you sorry? No, I told the Rav he's wasting time. Because you were right. I took your suggestion. You know how many times I read the Sefer Tehillim because of you? I took your suggestion. It was a good suggestion. So since then I've been reading Tehillim every time I walk. That's a person that looks at the facts as they are, removes all ego, removes all hatred. No, I told you so. It was my idea. It was his idea. None of that stuff exists. In his mind, allowed, not allowed. Good, bad, based on the definition that God made, good or bad. Not the definition of my desires, my ideas. So he says, such a person, which he himself, Baruch Hashem, merited to be, such a person is as praiseworthy as can be. Why? You simply are like an angel among men. Now, why would such a thing be in a Emunah and Bitachon book? And this is the reason. Just as the mind of this sublime person is straight, this person that's admirable to the point of awe because of what he did. Just as the mind of this sublime person is straight and his opinions are true, so even his non-logical thinking, meaning his emotions, always decide in favor of the truth. And his heart accepts the truth of the Almighty's existence without any hesitation, with no doubt, for his heart always sees the glow beyond the natural reality. In recognizing the existence of his Creator, he finds the solution to the mystery of the entire world, that mystery that gave him no rest. In so many words, he's saying this extraordinary person, because he has these character traits, that he has no anger, that he has no rage, that he's perfected his character, it even shaped his emotions. That by default, they always lean to the right emotion. By default, his natural emotion lines with what Hashem says. Especially when it comes to Emunah in Hashem, belief in Hashem. Where he has, without any hesitation or doubt, his heart always sees the glow beyond the natural reality. No matter what's happening, how dark reality is, no matter what the political situation is, how many viruses are in the world, who is going to win, who is going to lose, how many people died today, how many are going to die tomorrow, whether 5 or 6G are going to be worse than each other, all of the different things that people stress all day about, none of this stuff bothers him at all. Why? He has Emunah in Hashem that is so complete, he's simply at peace at all times. No concern whatsoever. It's not that he's unaware of the risk. He's not oblivious to the world. He knows everything that exists, but he knows that there is a puppet master pulling all the strings. Oh, today I'm going to pull some COVID. Oh, today I'm going to pull some 5G. Oh, today I'm going to pull some Trumpy. Oh, but today I'm going to pull some something else. Every day it's something else. And he knows, oh, okay, hi Hashem. Oh, hi Hashem. Oh, COVID, hi Hashem. Oh, Holocaust, hi Hashem. Oh, cancer, hi Hashem. Oh, financial crisis, hi Hashem. Oh, good news, hi Hashem. You just know, hi Hashem. Every single one of these situations that are happening in the world is an opportunity for him to say hello to Hashem. That's his emunah. And that has become his default. Meaning, he's not straining to have emunah. He has it naturally. Many times people say, listen, I want to do such and such. Should I have emunah to do this? Should I believe that this is going to work out? If you're asking, don't do it. Why? Because if you're asking whether you should or you shouldn't have emunah, that means you're not there yet. It doesn't make you a bad person. It means you're not there yet. You're not there yet. So don't push yourself too far and get to a point where you fall off a cliff and then you end up throwing everything with it. You have to know where you stand. Now, of course, in order to build your emunah, you need to give yourself some tests. You need to do certain things. But the Chazon says something quite different. He says, if you want to build your emunah, your faith in Hashem, that He's the one that's running the world, that He's the one in control of everything, whether you understand it or not, that He's the one pulling the strings, that He's the one that brought the Holocaust, that He's the one that took people to outer space, even if they didn't reach the moon, but they think they did. He's the one that put this guy as president. He's the one that's going to take somebody else and make him into some big billionaire, even though he doesn't know how to add from 1 to 5. He's the one that did all of this. He's the one. You have that understanding that He's the one. How? By perfecting your character traits. Not by focusing on, oh, I'm going to believe and therefore it will be. Rather, if I perfect my traits, my character traits, then I will eliminate the anger in my life. I will eliminate the rage in my life. I will eliminate the stinginess in my life. I will eliminate the laziness in my life. I will eliminate all of those things that are the opposite of what Hashem wants from me. I'm going to eliminate them, which in essence is going to align myself, my whole self, with Hashem, which will make my understanding in line with Hashem. It's not that I need to give myself a test of believe it and it will happen. No, I don't need to do that. All I need to do is follow what the Gaon Vilna already said. If you want to have a purpose to your life, fix your character traits. And if you came to this world and lived 70 years without fixing your character traits, your life was purposeless. If a person came into this world with a natural inclination to be angry, to be stingy, to be arrogant, that doesn't make him a bad person. What makes him a bad person if he stays that way? If she was born cheap, if she was born arrogant, if she was born some sociopath of some kind, that doesn't make her bad. That's what Hashem put in the package. Each package got its own little code. Each pod got its own little goodies. You're born that way, that's because that's your test. You stayed that way, you failed the test, and therefore you're considered wicked. So the Gaon Vilna says, if you live a whole 70 years and you didn't fix your traits, for what were you born? What was the point of your life? What, so you get 3 houses? They don't care about your houses in Shemayim. What, so you have 8 kids? You could have, somebody else can have those kids. If you didn't fix your traits, you'd simply lived a purposeless life. And Chazon Ish adds to what the Gaon Vilna says. If you fix your traits, not only are you now living a purposeful life, but your life itself improves. Why? Because now that you fixed your traits, now that you have less anger, less arrogance, less all of the bad things, now by default, your mind, your heart is in line with Hashem. You, by default, believe in Hashem more. You have more faith in Hashem, more bitachon in Hashem. Why? Because you're in line with Him at all times. Your life becomes better here. Thereby you become an angel among men. Now how do we know that we got to that point? He says that a person has to accept the truth of the Almighty and His existence without any hesitation, with no doubt whatsoever. You hear the truth, emet. I like it, don't make a difference. There's no personal consideration. Oh, I don't know, maybe the rabbi is wrong on this one, because even though he's quoting Rashi, and even though he also quoted Rambam too, and even though he mentioned the Gemara in the process, I don't know. That sounds kind of extreme. Sounds kind of extreme. Maybe it's not applicable anymore. Maybe you don't have enough emunah. Maybe you don't have enough understanding. That's the only maybe you should ask. And the problem is that we have the most difficult emunah tests when it comes to the most extraordinary rules in the Torah. The rules that touch our own life, the rules that we're biased in. If somebody tells you, listen, a mechalel Shabbat, if he's a Jew, if he violates Shabbat on purpose, he's considered an idol worshiper. Now, if you're keeping Shabbat, it doesn't affect you. You don't really care. It's like, yeah, idol worshiper, yeah, terrible. You don't care. You're not. You're not an idol worshiper because you're not violating Shabbat. You don't drive on Shabbat. You don't turn TV on Shabbat. You're good. So it doesn't bother you when the speaker or the Torah says that a mechalel Shabbat is considered an idol worshiper. It doesn't bother you. It doesn't bother you. When the Torah says if you steal, you have to be reincarnated and come back and pay back the person money. Now sometimes you'll have to come back as an animal. Why? Because an animal works. So sometimes if you stole money from Steve, and Steve happens to have a farm in the next reincarnation, you have to come back as one of the cows or one of the horses. Now, if you never stole $1 in your life, it doesn't bother you either. It doesn't bother you either. Why? I didn't steal. It doesn't bother me. If you stole, it's like, nah, I think this Kabbalah stuff is crazy. Now all of a sudden you don't like Kabbalah. Like one statement, the whole Kabbalah is in the garbage. One statement you don't like, the whole thing. That means what? Lack of Emunah in Hashem. Lack of Emunah in Hashem. Because had you had the right Emunah in Hashem, believing the Emet would be natural to you.